Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Sarcastic Bomb and welcome to my channel. I've been building up to this all week and I promise you we're going to look at Mark Steele. We've also got Charlie Ward. We've also got Steele Shemirani. We've also got somebody else. I don't know who the somebody else was. I can't remember. So, let's just fucking crack on, shall we?
Well, if you think about this virus, it can't operate in temperatures outside the body above 26 degrees, and it doesn't even drop to 30 degrees at night in Dubai, and they've got a total lockdown.
Now, regardless of what Peralta throws up there.
And here's the first swing of this video, and it's a complete and utter mess. What a fucking numpty. Now, regardless of whether COVID can operate outside of a body at temperatures above 26 degrees, that temperature doesn't kill it, does it? It will just not operate, so it won't make new cells. So you'd have to leave it for a long time for it all to die off. Really, to kill it, you need to get it to 56 degrees at a starting temperature. Higher than that is better. And what temperature do you say for Dubai? 30 at night? So, yeah, you're still missing there. Does it ever get up to 56 degrees in Dubai? That'll be a fucking no!
Well, that's because it doesn't even exist. COVID-19.
Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't.
Doesn't exist.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it doesn't exist. Prove it. Prove it doesn't exist. Go and talk to the people who've had it and tell them it doesn't exist. Go and ask the doctors who are treating this. Go and ask the people who've died from having this. This includes doctors, nurses, paramedics, police officers, people that you say are lying that have had it and died.
We've all got coronaviruses.
Yeah, of course we
Dogs
have.
have got the most.
The interesting
Anyway,
thing,
there's not any dogs really in Dubai. I've seen it. I think I saw 3 birds when I was in Dubai. I counted 3 birds.
Yeah.
That was it.
Hang on. First thing you say, there's no COVID-19. But then you say we've all got coronavirus and dogs have got the most coronaviruses. How fucking stupid are you? And then you're saying, I only counted 3 birds in Dubai. At the moment, Dubai has a problem with pigeons. There's estimated there's around 5,000 of them. And building maintenance staff are having to call in pest control firms because the amount of people complaining about droppings from pigeons. And also the amount of birds that migrate to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates every fucking year. Thousands upon thousands of them. Your logic makes no fucking sense. I didn't see any, therefore they don't exist. Numpty.
It's really weird.
It's got 5G though, that's the main thing.
Yeah, Dubai has 5G. The United Arab Emirates actually has about 80% coverage at the moment for 5G. It is really doing well with that, operating on a frequency of between 3.3 and 3.8 gigahertz. So somewhere between your old Wi-Fi standard and your new 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi standard. Well done for that.
It's interesting because when I went to Dubai a few years ago to see the Outlaws and the ex-husband with all the kids, because my whole thing is I've got loads of cancer patients, they built a massive new oncology hospital and their childhood cancers are rising exponentially.
Did you actually check the numbers on this, or are you just pulling facts out your ass? Let's be fair, it's you, so you probably were pulling the facts out your ass. Now, unfortunately, in the United Kingdom, we have around 360,000 new cases of cancer every year, whereas the United Arab Emirates has about 4,700 new cases of cancer. You see, there's a huge difference in those two numbers. And you can say, well, yeah, but there's not as many people there. That is very true. There's only 9.8 million odd people in the United Arab Emirates. So they have about 13% of the population. Do you want to do the maths on percentages on cancer rates? Yeah, they're nowhere near our rates. But you're saying it's worse out there for the 5G, 4G and everything else. They also have higher smoking rates than we do.
It's, you know, when they tested it in South Korea, they said 5 to 5 cities. That was their problem because they realised the equipment needs the power capacity for it to work.
Hang on, let me get this straight. On the 3rd of April, South Korea turned on its 5G network in Seoul City. Just there to start with because it was the first place to get it. On a very limited network just for celebrities really. And then the next day there were some fires. Okay, you could say, yes, you could draw some conclusions there. But this fire started 100 miles away. Now, would you think that's a bit of a weird coincidence? Oh, yes, we've turned something on here, and 100 miles away, there's a fire. Well, where did the fire start? The fire started in the woods, in the middle of nowhere. We think it's from a power line that blew down. In the wind. From the fucking high winds they were having, which then fanned the fucking fire. Bit odd that the 5G 100 miles away on the transmitters could cause that and not happen there. And it happens to happen 100 miles away. Bit weird that, innit? Anyone think that'd be fucking stupid to draw those two conclusions together? Oh wait, it is.
So that was the problem that they had, and this is why they've come up with a second kill grid plan, the vaccine, because the vaccine's got nano aluminium and tungsten particulates and micro particulates. And if I put them inside you, I need a lot less power from the weapon to kill you.
So hang on, let me get this straight. They had a problem with when they turned the 5G transmitters on in South Korea in April. So about 6 months, 7 months later, they pretended to have a fake virus in Wuhan, China, so that another 6 to 12 months later, maybe longer, you'd have a vaccine that would have some aluminium and tungsten in it, so they could kill you. Sounds like a very elaborate, weird plan, something that Dr. Evil had come up with. But if they wanted to get aluminium in you, just put an offer on tea. To force tea prices down around the world and get people to drink it, say it's really healthy for you. If they wanted to get tungsten in you, just put an offer on Chinese rice, because Chinese rice contains lots of tungsten. They have been told off for it, and China's just being China about it, like, yeah, we'll try and sort it. They haven't so far. But yeah, you're saying they want to do this from the vaccine, you're saying it's got these things in it. But how do you know? Have you seen a vaccine? No. Have you got any testing of a vaccine? No. Are you just making stuff up as you go along? Yes.
The Germans had a system called Mammoth. It was the first 5G, well, technically it was the first 5G piece of hardware. It was an analog system, but it was an offset signal, so you can punch out a beam wave, which you can cohere, collimate a signal. And that caused a massive problem. It was covered up by the military. They lost a lot of Allied air crew. It was basically radar, so it was tracking the Allied air crews coming in. But it was using what's called phased array signals, and that collimated, that offset signals, and they pump out the beam. So it's beam forming, and that beam forming microwave radiation there is pretty toxic. That's 5G. That's a technical parameter for 5G.
Oh, Mark, you're doing so well telling us something actually interesting about German radar and phased array signals, which have been about since 1905, in case anyone wanted to know, and how the British government didn't think that Germany had got their radar program that far with these phased array signals, and they thought they were only in the prototype phases. But unfortunately they weren't, and did end up causing problems. They had a range of over 300 kilometres with a height reach of 8 kilometres. So yeah, really good. But unfortunately for Mark, they weren't microwaves. They operated below 200 megahertz. And considering microwaves is above 300 megahertz, his whole plan sort of falls apart at that point, doesn't it? So yeah. You started well, Mark, and then you fucked up.
So the equipment was pretty toxic, and obviously we had walkie-talkies, we had all the equipment on the battlefield. When the telecommunications people came home, they put it in a cable on a telegraph pole. They did that for a reason, because it already had a significant number of people who got sick from exposure to microwave radiation.
Our survey said...
Do you just like making things up? It's fucking ridiculous. Yes, these walkie-talkie signals and the microwave radiation poisoning and all that. The walkie-talkies used less than 50 megahertz, so you're about 250 megahertz below where microwaves start, so that one can go right up your ass. Then you've got the big problem. Yes, they put them in the cables because of this reason. No, they probably put these signals in cables due to the fact of carrying around large battery packs and the limited range on a little old walkie-talkie. I mean, you could have a nice radio system which would give you a better range, but then you've still got to build a big transmitter. Money spent on the transmitter, you may as well just make a telephone system all around your country. Oh wait, they already had one of those going, you dickhead. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Mobile phones started coming up. You ended with 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G. But I'm going to tell you what 5G. 5G is the 5 points of the pentagram.
What?
Is the 5 points of the pentagram.
So 5G is not just the number that comes after 4G then. It's not the next logical step. Fucking hell. I didn't realise you were this crazy.
It's the satanic symbol. If you look at the symbology of the electronics companies, Lucient, O2, Apple, the Apple with a bite out of it's the first sin. They're all satanic symbols.
Wow, this took a nosedive off the conspiracy board, didn't it? Fuck my life. Okay, right. Apple is the origin of all sin. Brilliant.
And the reason for that is because they're being driven and being funded by the main satanic group in the world, which is the Ashkenazi, Nazi, whatever you want to call them, Satanists.
There's like an hour left on this video. What the fuck? You jumped the deep end really quick. I'm loving the other three, just like, oh, okay. Why'd we agree to be on this show again? Is this why none of them have done much with you since? They've obviously looked at you and gone, fucking hell, this guy's nuts.
That's what it's really all about. The plan is, the 5G plan is to kill all biological life on the planet.
That's a very Dr. Evil sort of plan. Now, if you kill all biological life on the planet, I'm wondering what his next part of the plan is going to be. And then we're going to repopulate our own things. Except there'll be no trees, no fish, no nothing, and there'll be no insects to populate our plants. And we'll all die within a couple of years from starvation because there's no insects unless we keep them all safe. You're...
Now, I know it sounds absolutely unbelievable, but that is as a matter of fact. I can tell you because of the capacity of the equipment. I mean...
Really? We should take your word on the capacity of equipment when you can't even describe an aerial fucking properly. MC Toon's video saw to that and fucking ripped you a new one. So, really, should we listen to anything you have to say at this point? Oh, we may as well, because it'll only be fucking funny.
Where we won Gateshead, they were putting 450 volt capacitors on the antenna boards.
And? You know there's a difference between voltage and current, right? And having seen that video, do you not think it could be like for a flyback power supply, something like that? No. We'll skip your stupid analogy bit and we'll go to the next stupid thing you say. Oh, that'd be like the very next sentence.
So when I started to get my hands on the equipment in the streetlights, 450 volts, 3,300 watt capacitors, these are switches. In switching capability on an antenna board, I'm like, hang on a minute. This is for something completely different. And what I've deduced it to be is an EMP, electromagnetic pulse. So you know after a nuclear bomb goes off, you get what's called electromagnetic radiation pulse wave.
Now, let's put that 370 volt, whatever he said, capacitor into perspective, shall we? Disposable camera's got a 313 volt capacitor for the flash. Yeah, it doesn't sound a lot when you put it in that sort of perspective, does it? No. And you can actually use that to make an EMP generator. It'd be quite cool. And, yeah, it wouldn't have a very big range. So these ones in the lamppost, yeah, they might reach the ground. Maybe. You've got no fucking idea. For a weapons expert, you're a fucking numpty. You really are. How much do you expect that EMP to do? With only like 400 volt capacitors, because that is fucking nothing. Seeing these capacitors, they're fucking like that. And voltage isn't the same as current. For fuck's sake. And you're going to want a capacitor in a transmitter to smooth out the electrical signal. What is wrong with you? You have no fucking idea, do you?
So they want their money, they want their life, but the most important thing, they want their soul. That's why in the vaccine, it's got the mark of the beast. It's got the mark of the beast in the vaccine, because once you take that vaccine, you may as well have signed your contract with Satan.
So after his EMP talk, he talked a bit about 9/11 and breaking down electronic bonds with certain frequencies. Like, it's so boring. And I randomly skipped forward, pressed cut, ripple deleted, and this was the very next thing that was said. And I don't even think we ever got a full explanation of what the plan was after the world government kills everyone on the planet, because he just started talking about transistors and transmitters, and I don't fucking know. I've had enough of this fucking nut job. It is mental. He really is fucking mental. I'm going to leave the video there because I've run out of words and brain cells. I need a drink. Fuck my life. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe down below. I am the Sarcastic Barman. Don't forget, go and check out MC Toon's channel. He's done a much better job, and he's far more sensible breaking down Mark Steele than I fucking am, because I just want to laugh at him and call him a fucking moron. Oh, good night.